Welcome back to part 2 of A History of Yankee Stadium. If you missed part 1, click the card in the corner to watch it and get caught up. Thank you for being here. Let's dive in. Yankee Stadium wasn't just the center of baseball on opening day. It was the place to be for all of 1923. After winning on opening day, the Yankees never looked back, claiming their third consecutive American League pennant with a 98-54 record. Babe Ruth had another mythic season, generating 14.1 WAR and winning the American League MVP. In its inaugural season, the stadium led the American League in attendance with just over 1 million fans passing through the gates. That fall's World Series felt like a passing of the torch from the old to the new, as the Yankees once again took on their rivals and former landlords, the Giants. Game 1 of the series took place at the brand new ballpark on October 10th. 55,370 people attended that very first World Series game in the Bronx, hoping to see their Yankees get off to a good start against the hated Giants. Both starters struggled and failed to make it through 3 innings. The game was a back-and-forth affair, but ultimately, the New York Yankees took a 5-4 loss in their stadium's first World Series game. Given the walking proximity of the two-team stadiums, the series alternated home teams, meaning Game 2 took place at the Polo Grounds. The Yankees managed a win in their old ballpark to even up the series. The following day, October 12th, 62,430 fans made their way to Yankee Stadium to see sad Sam Jones dominate, going 8 strong innings and allowing only a single Giants run. But his Giants adversary, Art Neff, outdueled him with a 6-hit, complete game shutout. 2-1 Giants, and back to Harlem they went. Just like Game 2, Game 4 went to the Yankees, making it 4 wins in a row for visiting teams to start the series. The teams were all tied up at 2. Looking to finally get a series game at home, the Yankees welcomed another massive crowd of 62,817, and they dominated. The Yankees lineup exploded for 8 runs to the Giants 1. Going back to their old stomping grounds, the Yankees had their first series lead, and a good opportunity to close it out. Both lineups managed to score, but the Yankees would score more. The final was a 6-4 Yankees win, and for the first time ever, the New York Yankees were champions of the baseball world. In a fantastic turn of fate, the New York Giants had to sit there and witness their old former tenant celebrating their very first World Series championship at the Polo Grounds. Following their very first championship, Yankee ownership moved the playing field up several feet to avoid an unusual angle that was in play in right field down the line. The team failed to defend its title, taking second in the AL in 1924 before collapsing to 7th place in 1925, largely due to an illness that kept Ruth sidelined for much of the season. The most notable development during those 2 seasons came on June 1st, 1925, when Lou Gehrig was inserted at first base in place of Wally Pipp. This began a streak of 2,130 consecutive games started at first base, earning Gehrig the legendary nickname Iron Man. A revitalized Yankees team reclaimed their AL crown in 1926, after improving their record by 22 wins from the year prior. Finishing out 91-63-1, the Yankees won their 3rd pennant in 5 years at the stadium, in front of a league-leading attendance of just over 1 million fans. Earning a spot in the Fall Classic, They were pitted not against their rival Giants, but rather against a scrappy St. Louis Cardinals team led by player-manager Rogers Hornsby. Game 1 was set for October 2nd, with the American League holding hosting honors for the year. 61,658 fans attended that Game 1, with Herb Pennock pitching for the Yankees and Bill Shirtle for the Cardinals. In a doozy of a game, Pennock tossed a one-run complete game to give the Yankees the win. The next day, Urban Shocker took the ball for the Yankees, looking to extend the series lead. Facing off against baseball legend Grover Cleveland Alexander, Shocker had a rough outing, ultimately allowing Alexander and the Cards to get the better of him. As the series took a day off to travel to St. Louis, it was all tied up at 1 apiece. On the road, the Yankees struggled in Game 3, falling victim to a 4-0 shutout. Game 4 saw the Yankee bats wake up, smacking the Cardinals around to win the game 10-5 and tie the series up at 2. Both teams looked to get an edge in the final game in St. Louis. Game 1 starters Herb Pennock and Bill Shirtle started Game 5 and went the distance. After 9 innings, just like the series, the game was all tied at 2. Both pitchers started the 10th, with the Yankees getting a run over to win the game and take a threatening 3-2 series lead as they moved back to New York. Back at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees were thoroughly outplayed. Yankee pitcher Bob Shockey was blown up by the Cardinals, who won the game 10-2. With that dominant performance, the Cards evened up the series, setting up a winner-take-all Game 7. The next day, a slightly smaller crowd passed through the gates of Yankee Stadium, fingers crossed for a Yankees win. With their hopes on his shoulders, Waite Hoyt took the mound for the Yankees, facing off against Jesse Haynes. Both pitchers pitched well. Ultimately, Haynes got the upper hand, allowing only 2 Yankees runs across 9 innings, while his offense managed a 3 spot in the 4th. The score held, and the Cardinals celebrated their championship in front of a stunned Yankees crowd. In a building built for coronations, the Cardinals staged an execution for the Yankees fans to witness. In its 5th full season, Yankee Stadium hosted what many still call the greatest team ever assembled. The 1927 Yankees finished the year with a 110-44-1 record, winning their 2nd consecutive pennant by a jaw-dropping 19 games over the 2nd-place Philadelphia Athletics. They finished the year with a run differential of plus 371, outscoring opponents by more than 2 runs per game. Both Ruth and Gehrig had one of the best respective seasons of their mythic careers. Ruth broke his own home run record, again, launching 60 of them throughout the season, while also generating a staggering .486 on-base percentage. Gehrig himself smashed 47 home runs and drove in an incredible 173 runs. Finishing out with 11.9 wins above replacement, Lou Gehrig was voted as the league's MVP. Ruth was ineligible for the vote, as at the time, previous winners could not win again. That unbelievable production led attendance to increase to 1.16 million fans, and earned the team yet another shot at the World Series, this time against a great Pittsburgh Pirates squad. Regardless of how great the Bucs were, though, they were never going to be a match for the absolute machine they had to face in the Fall Classic. Games 1 and 2 were played at Forbes Field, with the Yankees unsurprisingly taking both games. As the series pivoted to New York, the Yankees were in the driver's seat. Looking to take a commanding series lead, the Yankees came out hot. Herb Pennock took the mound for the home team in front of a massive Yankee Stadium crowd, and he dominated. Throwing a complete game, Pennock only allowed 3 hits and a single run in the 8th, while his offense exploded for 8 runs to thrill the crowd and put the Yankees on the precipice of their second championship. 57,909 attended Game 4 at Yankee Stadium. Up 3-0, the Yankees gave the ball to Wilcie Moore. Going the distance, Moore allowed 10 hits but only allowed 3 runs. His Pirates counterpart, Carmen Hill, lasted 6 innings, giving up 3 runs himself. His replacement, Pittsburgh native Johnny Miljuice, got into trouble in the 9th. With Earl Combs on third, Miljuice threw a wild pitch. Combs scored, and the Yankees won the championship in one of the weirdest walk-offs in World Series history. For the second time in 5 years, the Yankees were champions of the baseball world. And this time, they celebrated the victory in the Bronx. Following that historic season, the Yankees ownership, tired of turning people away at the gates, decided to give the ballpark its first renovation. The middle and upper decks down the third base line were extended into left field, stopping where the bullpens were located. This increased capacity to 62,000. Distance markers were painted on the outfield walls, making Yankee Stadium the first ballpark to do so. With space for new fans to come to their games, the Yankees barely missed a beat from the last season. Capturing their third consecutive pennant, the Yankees finished the 1928 season with a 101-53 record and hosted 1,072,132 fans in the Bronx. Having home field advantage in the World Series, they were pitted against the National League winning St. Louis Cardinals. Yankee Stadium hosted Games 1 and 2 of the series on October 4th and 5th, with roughly 61,000 fans attending each game. Even more so than in 1927, the Yankees dominated this series. Game 1 was dominated by Waite Hoyt, who went the distance and only allowed a single run. The Yankees' offense posted 4 runs themselves, 3 of which came against starter Bill Shirtle. The next day, the Yankees' bats exploded, scoring 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 4 in the third. They added 1 more in the 7th to round out a dominant 9-3 win, establishing a commanding 2-0 series lead. Pivoting to St. Louis for the next 2 games, things didn't go much better for the Cardinals. Both games finished with a 7-3 Yankees win, sealing the championship once again and avenging their painful 7-game loss in the 1926 World Series. The Yankees failed to defend their title in 1929, finishing the season with an 88-66 record and in second place in the junior circuit. They led the league in attendance again with over 960,000 fans visiting Yankee Stadium. But the theme of the year was off-the-field tragedy. First, on May 19th, during a rain delay against the Red Sox, as fans made their way to the exits, the overcrowded passageways created a deadly crush, killing 2 and injuring 62 more. Owner Jacob Ruppert had previously allowed attendance to exceed official capacity. Following this disaster, that policy was revised. Then, later in the season, on September 20th, manager Miller Huggins fell ill with a bacterial infection that was then exacerbated by the flu. 5 days later, he died at the age of 51. American League games scheduled for September 27th were canceled in honor of Huggins. In the middle of a season, in the middle of a championship defense, their manager was gone. Distraught, the team fumbled to a 6-5 record to finish the season with interim manager Art Fletcher. Bob Shockey was installed as manager in 1930, leading the Yankees to a third-place finish before being replaced by Joe McCarthy in 1931. McCarthy would hold down the role for the next 15 years. In his first season at the helm, he improved the Yankees' overall record from 86 wins to 94 wins, finishing in second place. He followed that up in 1932 by leading the Yankees to their 7th American League pennant. Finishing with 107 wins, they captured that pennant by 13 games over the A's. Yankee Stadium welcomed over 960,000 fans again, leading the American League in attendance. Earlier in the season, on May 30th, the Yankees honored deceased manager Miller Huggins with a monument that they erected in center field, the very beginning of Monument Park. Earning a spot in that year's Fall Classic, they were pitted against the National League champion Chicago Cubs. The Yanks had home field advantage and hosted Game 1 on September 28th in front of 41,459. Behind a red roughing complete game, the Yankee lineup exploded, claiming the day 12-6. The next day, 50,709 fans passed through the turnstiles of Yankee Stadium to witness their team win the game 5-2 behind another complete game effort, this time by Lefty Gomez. With a day off for travel to Chicago, the series was picked back up at Wrigley Field on October 1st. Despite the change in scenery, the end result was the same, with the Yankees taking a 7-5 win on the road and extending their series lead to 3-0. Needing just one more win for the championship, the Yankees' bats refused to be denied, exploding for 13 runs against the Cubs' 6. The celebration began both on the field at Wrigley and back home in the Bronx, as the Yankees had captured their 4th championship. Thank you for watching The Bad Baseball Fan. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the origins of Yankee Stadium, consider subscribing and join me for part 3.